Now, my next guest tonight has spent the past 5 years rebuilding his life after suffering horrifying injuries. Ben Horne is epileptic. Back in 2019, he had a seizure at home and lost consciousness. When he woke up, he realised that his pet dog, who had been frightened by the seizure, had attacked him and ripped off his nose. What followed for Ben was a series of surgical procedures to repair the physical damage, but of course the mental trauma was severe too. And Ben is sharing his story to try to help others facing the same kind of struggle. Well, Ben is here with me now. Ben, so good of you to come in to see us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
We need to start at the beginning.
Yeah.
Back in 2019, you had been epileptic since the age of 15.
Yeah, that's right.
But it was this day back in 2019 that was unusual. Talk to me about what happened that day.
Yeah, so I obviously had epilepsy since I was 15, been mostly controlled over my life. And at this particular time, I was going through a medication change, which caused issues when I started having nocturnal seizures, which I hadn't had before. And it was, during one of these nocturnal seizures that this accident happened.
And this dog you had had since a puppy, it was your pet?
Yeah.
And it was distressed by what was happening?
Yeah.
Talk to me about what happened when you woke up from your seizure.
So, as anyone who has epilepsy will know, when you come around from a seizure, you're very confused and
disorientated.
Yeah, you don't know what your name is or where you are or anything like that. But after a while, I sort of began to come to, obviously noticed there was a lot of blood. I'd obviously done a few laps of the house because the blood was all around the house, which I knew was not a good sign. So I vaguely remember looking in the mirror and it not being a very nice sight. So I tried to call the ambulance, and it was then I realised I couldn't really talk, which I knew, again, was not a good sign. But I did manage to call the ambulance. And a single paramedic turned up initially, who then called through for an ambulance.
We are going to show viewers a picture of the aftermath of what happened, your original injury. And I'm just going to warn viewers now, it is extremely graphic. So we'll carry on talking. We'll bring that image up in a few seconds' time. Because your nose was completely gone.
It was.
And your lip, and your chin. When you realised the extent of the damage, how were you mentally?
So how it played out was I obviously got taken to the hospital initially. I was kind of conscious, not really, so I wasn't fully aware of what had happened. I just remember a lot of doctors and nurses around me. And they were taking pictures to send to Taunton Hospital, which is where they were going to take me to do the initial emergency surgery. They got taken up there for a 10-hour surgery. And I came out of there and I was on the ward in the evening. I was on my own because visitors hadn't been allowed at that time. So
this was during the pandemic, right?
No, this was just before. And the nurse handed me a mirror and said, have a look and it's going to be a big shock. And it definitely was. I obviously knew the damage was bad. I didn't realise it was that bad. And yeah, your whole life crumbles really. You're not sure what you're going to do or what's going to happen. It was a tough time.
Well, over the course of the next 5 years, you've undergone 10 surgeries?
Yeah, thereabouts.
Thereabouts. Yeah. And just talk to us about some of the incredible work that has been done, because we can bring viewers some images now. The human body is an amazing thing in terms of plastic surgeons harvest parts from other parts of your body to reconstruct your face. And I think we can bring our viewers some images now. Again, they're graphic images, but they just give us an idea of the amount of surgery you went through, the extreme kind of surgery, and the marvel that these plastic surgeons...
Yeah, it's incredible.
The marvellous work they do, because what we're looking at here is your nose, and they've actually taken skin from your arm, which is covered in tattoos, and you have tattooed skin on your nose. Talk to me where you are in your surgeries at this point and what happens next.
So this point is, obviously, they've taken the skin from my arm, and they take the artery that goes up your arm as well, which they then stitch on and connect the artery into your neck.
Because they're having to build a nose.
Yeah.
They're starting from scratch, so they're taking bone from your ribs, fat from your stomach to put into your face as well with the chin.
It's incredible, really. So there's like the 3 layers. You've got the forearm underneath, and you've got the structure in the middle, which I had rib and hip bone taken, and then the forehead flap on top of that,
which went over the tattooed skin to create the nose that we see today.
So I can say I've got the inside of my nose tattooed, which is quite cool.
Not many people can say that.
No.
Can I just ask how you are now in terms of... Can you look back at old pictures of yourself? Because I noticed you did a picture of yourself on Instagram from before the attack, and you said, I want to say to this young man, there are going to be tough times ahead, but essentially you've got this with the help of loved ones, your mum and your sister.
Yeah.
Can you look back at those pictures?
Yeah, I can. It's still difficult to, because you always look back and compare and wish that things were how they used to be. But as time goes on, sort of learning to just make peace with what's happened, and trying to feel comfortable in your own skin again. Any disfigurement is so difficult, particularly a facial one, when it's what the world sees.
And how has that been? Because, you know, you're telling your story on TV, which is a big deal for anyone, but for someone with a facial disfigurement, still going through it because you still have more surgeries to come, it is incredibly brave. And you want to talk about this to reach out to other people who are going through something similar. And as you said, when it is a facial injury, it's something different, isn't it? It takes you somewhere different emotionally and mentally, because it is the first thing that people see. How have you navigated that? Because that can't have been easy.
No, it's not. I spent a long time feeling in denial about things and trying to ignore it and hide away. And I still have those days where it's difficult to go out, and still being around a lot of people is difficult. But you just have to kind of take things day by day, and gradually, little by little, you grow a little more confidence each day.
Well, you're focused. You want to get your story out there to help others. You've got more to come because, as I'm sure viewers have noticed, you have tubes coming out of your nose because the next challenge for surgeons is how to remove those and keep your nose intact. I mean, surgery is incredible. They will find a way. And you are undertaking a series of challenges. In fact, you've got the 4th one this weekend because you're raising money for the Exeter Plastic Surgery Unit that has helped you through all of this to get you where you are today and beyond. They're part of the Royal Devon Hospitals. Talk to us about what you're doing and why you want to raise money for them.
So I decided to do, when it's obviously been 4 years more or less. And so for each year, I decided to do a challenge for each year. So I started last month, I did Southwest 50k and Tough Mudder Southwest. Saturday just gone, I did Tough Mudder, Birmingham, and then, yeah, this Thames 50k coming up on Saturday. And I just wanted to do my little bit for Exeter Hospital, because I actually started my surgeries in Bristol, and after a few, my surgeon there left the NHS to go private, which left me in a bit of a predicament, and that's when Exeter stepped in, and they've just been absolutely brilliant. I can't thank them enough. So,
and you want to raise some funds for people who are in a similar situation who may find themselves unable to get the help they need. Well, Ben, I think you're brilliant. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you very much.
Where can people donate money? Do you know the link off by heart? If not, I can put it out on social media. Don't feel under pressure.
I believe it's rdhc.infuse.com/Ben-Horne.
Okay, great stuff. And I'm going to put it out on social media so where people can find it at. Sky Sarah Jane is my social media handle. Ben, thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks very much.
Really good to see you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. Good luck.